What are Reform playing at? What are Reform UK playing at? Inquiring minds need to know, which is what this video is about. They have been in bunker mode, they've been in meltdown mode for the past 48 to 72 hours because of the launch of Rupert Lowe's Restore Britain. I'm sympathetic to the grassroots of reform. I'm sympathetic to everybody who's patriotic on the right of centre. This isn't an attack on the grassroots, this is a critique of the messaging from Reform UK. Certain people, talking heads, politicians within the Reform ranks in the past few days have been making really bad mistakes in terms of messaging, and that's what I want to get into. The British people are a thing, both ethnically and demographically, in Britain. This shouldn't be controversial to say. There's a lot of people that get confused, and I want to try to come at the confusion and try to create a bit of clarity. This first clip is from Nigel Farage over the weekend when he was asked to define what it is to be English.
I'm going to start drawing ethnic lines on what being English is. Otherwise we'll be back to DNA tests of whether you're Anglo-Saxon. I'm not going down that road. It's about how you feel, and it's about what your priorities are. That's what I'd say. What are your priorities? What is the thing that you really believe you're part of?
That's a really poor answer. That's a really poor answer. I don't think it's about what you feel. The entire by-election campaign in Gorton and Denton has been the Labour Party attacking Reform UK because Matt Goodwin has made statements such as British is a thing, ethnicity is a thing, and demographics is destiny, talking about 2063 when the white British population is set to become a minority in our own country. And this is from their election candidates, and this is the messaging that they're coming out with now. It's bizarre. And then you look at this. This is a poll that I put on my channel when the Gorton and Denton by-election was announced, when Labour started attacking Reform UK, asking who is more British. Their candidate in Labour, Dr Vivian Sandher, MP, or Matt Goodwin. Most of the people that voted on the poll are pretty clear that Matt Goodwin's the Englishman here, out of these two.
I'm going to start drawing ethnic lines on what being English is.
Yeah, you might not want to draw ethnic lines, Nigel, but your politicians are, your grassroots are, and the country at large are as well. So you're way behind on this. And then we get into the second clip. Alright, this is Alex Phillips.
All Britain believe British people are an ethnicity. We are a race, we are a demographic. Every other political party has a nebulous view of Britain and British people. Okay, so if British people are a race, my stepsister is not British then?
So you understand the context, you understand the question, you just have an attack of dumb blonde on purpose. You understand what the question posits, but you're not willing to articulate it in a meaningful way. What exactly are you trying to convince me of here exactly?
I'm sorry, I don't understand. If you're going to say it, just say it, say the quiet part out loud.
Okay. I'm not going to be quiet about this. Until 1948, until the British Nationality Act was passed by the Clement Attlee government, nobody had any misunderstanding or reason to doubt whether they were British or not. English, Welsh, Scottish, Irish, united under the Union Jack, and the United Kingdom, we were all British citizens, equal. What happened with the British Nationality Act is something quite sinister, and I'll get to that later in the video. You're playing dumb, and I don't buy that you're this dumb, alright? When people come on and they say that British are a specific ethnicity, what I've just clearly defined is what they are getting at. There is no room for error, and there is no misunderstanding. This isn't about race, this is about ethnicity. This is about who has the cultural inheritance to this United Kingdom.
Okay? This is what I'm going to say to Restore Britain. Just say the quiet part out loud so we know. Otherwise, it just sounds like reform, but apparently it's not.
That's right, it's not. Your guys, the Reform UK guys, your talking heads, are all over the place on this. Then we get to the next clip. This is Laila Cunningham. She took issue with Charlie Downs on Talk TV the other day. So we're going to play this clip now.
About if you're not white and Christian in this country, you're not British. Right? They're going back to some kind of like neo-Nazi Aryan race. If you're not white, I mean, I've heard their spokesperson on Talk TV and on TV saying if you are not white and Christian, then you're not deemed to be British. And
again, you're confusing things, because I've seen you on TV channels before this week coming out and saying that you're not ethnically British. Now you're saying that you are British and you're not actually bringing ethnicity into it at all. Why is this? Have you been instructed to call people to the right of you racist and extreme? Because you're just doing the hard left's talking points, you're not actually doing anything of value.
you know, that flies in the face of wanting integration and assimilation, because no matter how much you integrate or assimilate, according to them, you will never be British.
I wouldn't go that far, and I don't think Restore Britain would go that far either. You're trying to pigeonhole everybody that's following Restore Britain, and it's unbecoming of a person in your position. You need to work smarter, and you need to work harder. I would never say that you are not British. I would never say that you are not British. You have a British passport. You were born here. Of course you are British, but some people are more British than others, to quote Animal Farm. And Suella Braverman, Reform UK's newest MP, or one of their newest MPs, agrees with me, and we'll get to that one in a moment.
Well, look, I mean, they're not here to defend themselves right now, but the bottom line is there might be people in their party who say one thing who don't, but that might not be the party line.
So we'll leave that one there, and we'll get on to the final clip, which is Suella Braverman in the autumn of last year.
We were just having a chat off screen that I think is quite interesting about Englishness, because you were saying, well, what were you saying about on that debate?
Yeah, well, I think in recent months there's been a little bit of an online debate about what it is to be English, and I don't know what prompted me now to comment on it, but I'm very clear about my identity, my ethnicity and my nationality. I would consider myself to be British Asian. I was born in England, I've been schooled in England, I love England, I support the England football team, but I would never describe myself as English. To me, there is something precious about that element of identity, and Englishness is something to do with heritage, it's something to do with ancestry, it's something to do with ethnicity, dare I say. My parents were not born in England, my grandparents were not born in England, and for that reason I would never consider myself to be English. I think there needs to be a lineage that connects me to the English people.
She's sounding like a Restore MP. She's sounding more right of centre than the leadership in Reform UK. This is the issue. Reform are all over the place on this now, and they've got nowhere to go, because the far left, the mainstream legacy media, have spent 18 months demonising Reform UK and Reform UK voters as racist, bigoted, white supremacists, all of which is completely inaccurate, completely false. And now you've got people running for office in Reform UK doing the same thing to people in Restore Britain. This is erratic, this is irrational, and this is foolhardy. My advice to anybody who's voting or has an ear of anybody in Reform UK is you need to drop this line of attack, because if Restore Britain are the racist party, and you've got people in your party that adhere to what Restore Britain is saying, Doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense at all. You need to be consistent on policy, you need to be consistent on the message you are delivering, and you are doing neither. So we're going to end this here. So I'll end this video with a bit more information. The 1948 British Nationality Act actually fundamentally changed the demographics of the UK, and it changed what it meant to be British under British law. This is why you get the liberal media and people like Alex Phillips and Nigel Farage now coming out and saying, define it, define what you mean. So I'm going to define it here because Restore Britain don't seem to have come to this point yet, so I'm going to define it here. Anybody that can trace ancestry in Britain to pre-1948, when the Clement Attlee government legislated for an open system for immigration for Imperial Commonwealth citizenship, anybody who has ancestry in the United Kingdom before 1948 is ethnically British. This is what people mean when they say ethnically British. Ancestry on these islands before government decided that they wanted to welcome the universe in and give British passports out like confetti. This does not mean Laila Cunningham or Suella Braverman aren't British. They are what I would class as assimilated. These are the types of people that would pass the integration test. Alright? Now, me distinctly saying there is a difference between British as an ethnicity and British citizens, that's not inherently a good or a bad thing, and that's just a statement of fact. Either way, Reform UK is alienating people left, right and centre, and it's not a good look. It really isn't a good look. Now, if you like this video and you think I make some salient comments, make me aware. Like and subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.